Okay, so again, pause the video and make sure you have all of this written in your notes, what's going on, and the initial setup, so we can do the problem. So pause the video, write that down. Okay, now pause the video again and try to solve it. Okay, so draw an economy in a recession, draw the shift, workers and other resources take a pay cut. Okay, pause the video, try it. Okay, so recession, right? Remember, the actual output of the economy during a recession is less than the full employment output, so YF has to be bigger. I cannot emphasize enough, do not memorize what a recession looks like. Make sure you know how to figure it out from where Y1 should be compared to YF, right? Or Y actual should be compared to full employment output, okay? Okay, so recession, it's the gap, okay. All right, workers and other resources take a pay cut. Okay, so pay cut, right, is a change in resource cost. Okay, right? Because remember, workers' wages are resource cost. So change in resource cost, shorten aggregate supply shifts out, right? It's easier to produce if the workers and resources are cheaper. Okay, so now we think, okay, how big should this shift be? Is there any reason why it should be exactly the right size, or could it be too big or too small? So remember, this is a long-run adjustment that brings us back to equilibrium in the classical model. So if workers are taking the pay cut to account for deflation, right? So initially aggregate demand was here, and then aggregate demand fell to cause the recession. So the workers' wages need to go down by, this much, okay, to adjust for the fact that there's been deflation. So the workers' wages are adjusting to the deflation. And so once their workers' wages have adjusted to deflation, then there's no reason why the companies would want to hire less of them, right? Remember, the only reason companies cut production and fired workers was because the price level fell, so their revenues got squished. But remember, the resource costs are sticky, and so they stayed the same. So the company's costs stayed the same, but their profits are getting squished, right? But once your workers' wages have adjusted for inflation, they've cut, then your company has no reason to want to produce less and not hire back those normal amount of workers, okay? Okay, so if the workers do take a pay cut, then production will go back to normal, so your SRAS2 will end up leading to Y2 being the same as YF, right? This is the classical long-run self-healing mechanism, okay? But what we saw in the previous video, the first example video, was the government trying to take action to get the recession to end faster. And we're going to talk next week about ways that can be done. Because you could wait for the prices to adjust, but there's a famous Keynes quote of, in the long run, we're all dead, right? So he's like, okay, why wait for the resource cost to adjust in the long run? Let's do something sooner. So we'll talk about that. Okay.